the Ottoman Empire. For centuries, the world's most formidable power. Yet as the Golden Age faded, a new power emerged, not on the battlefield, but within the gilded cage of the harem. This is the era of the Sultanate of Women, and its most formidable ruler was not a sultan, but a slave girl named Kösem. She would witness the fall of 4 sultans and challenge the very foundation of imperial rule. Her life began far from the opulence of Topkapi. Born around 1590, likely on the Greek island of Tinos, her original name was Anastasia. At the age of 15, she was captured and brought to Istanbul, eventually entering the imperial harem. This was no ordinary servitude. The harem was a political crucible. Her striking beauty and keen intelligence quickly caught the eye of the new sultan, Ahmed I. She was given the name Mapikar, Moonface, and later Kösem, leader or pioneer, a testament to her rapidly growing influence. Kösem wisely focused on securing her future. She bore the sultan many children, including 4 sons and several daughters, strategically strengthening her dynastic position. Unlike her predecessors, she did not withdraw from politics after the sultan's death. When Ahmed I died in 1617, she faced a critical moment. Ottoman tradition dictated the sultan's sons were executed to prevent civil war. But Kösem survived. The rule of seniority, allowing the eldest male member of the dynasty to ascend, was adopted, arguably saving her sons' lives. This small yet profound shift in the law marked Kösem'in ilk zaferi ve Osmanlı siyasetine ilk dokunuşuydu.
Kösem's true era of power began in 1623 with the ascension of her son, Murad IV, at the tender age of 11. Due to his minority, Kösem was officially granted the immense titles of Valide Sultan, Queen Mother, and, more crucially, Naibe-i Saltanat, Regent of the Sultanate. She was now the undeniable power behind the throne. The empire she inherited was reeling from chaos, Janissary revolts, provincial corruption, and the perennial threat from the Safavid Empire. Kösem, armed with a will of iron, made decisions directly from behind the lattice screens of the divan meetings. She showed a practical ruthlessness, executing rebellious officials and appointing ministers she could control. However, her son Murad was growing up and resented his mother's shadow. The period of Murad IV's reign, 1623 to 1640, became a struggle for control. The 1632 crisis. Murad decisively asserted his authority, demanding Kösem step back from the direct administration of the empire. She wisely yielded, surviving by maintaining her position as a trusted political advisor, while her son took on the role of a fearsome tyrant. A dynastic tragedy. Murad's reign was defined by his own brutality and eventual death from excessive alcohol consumption. This immediately presented Kösem with a terrifying crisis. The only surviving male heir to the Ottoman dynasty was her other son, Shehzade Ibrahim, confined in the cafes, the cage. Sultan Ibrahim, who ascended the throne in 1640, was severely traumatized and paranoid from 8 years spent isolated in the cafes. He was mentally unfit to rule, indulging in bizarre and extravagant fancies that bled the state dry. This provided the perfect power vacuum for Kösem. With her son incapacitated, Kösem swiftly resumed control, effectively ruling the empire in his name. This era saw her power reach its absolute zenith. The power broker. Kösem frequently appointed and dismissed grand viziers, chief ministers, consolidating her control over the central bureaucracy. She balanced the opposing factions, the Janissaries, the ulema, religious scholars, and the palace eunuchs, to maintain her grip. The inevitable fall. However, Ibrahim's increasingly violent and arbitrary rule, coupled with his wasteful spending, drove the powerful Janissary core and the public to revolt. Facing an existential threat to the dynasty itself, Kösem made her most chilling decision for the survival of the House of Osman. In 1648, Kösem conspired with the rebels to depose her own son. Sultan Ibrahim was imprisoned and shortly thereafter executed by strangulation. This remains a rare and profoundly disturbing moment in Ottoman history. A valid sultan authorizing the execution of a reigning sultan. Kösem's final maneuver was to enthrone her 6-year-old grandson, Mehmed IV. This secured her position as both the validest sultan and the Büyük Valide, senior queen mother, placing her at the very pinnacle of power. But this move ignited the rivalry that would lead to her destruction. Turhan Sultan, Mehmed IV's own mother, refused to tolerate Kösem's dominant shadow. The two powerful women entered into a bitter, relentless struggle for control over the young sultan and the empire's fate. Fearing Turhan's rising influence, Kösem planned to poison her rival and place another, more easily managed grandson on the throne. However, Turhan's loyal network of palace eunuchs learned of the plot. In a dramatic night raid on September 2nd, 1651, Turhan Sultan's assassins stormed Kösem's apartment. Legend claims Kösem attempted to hide, but was found and tragically strangled with a curtain rope. Her immense political career, spanning 6 decades, 4 sultans, and countless intrigues, ended violently. Narrator: Kösem Sultan was a survivor, a politician, and a ruthless pragmatist. Her death did not restore order. It merely transferred the power of the harem to Turhan Sultan. But Kösem's legacy was cemented. She was the woman who challenged the fundamental rules of imperial succession and became the most formidable and controversial shadow ruler the Ottoman Empire had ever known.